Hi, welcome to Chiefkirk Outdoors. Now today I would like to give you my 2 cents worth on camp stoves. Now I've been looking at several videos about camp stoves and people giving reviews on them and so forth, and I thought I'd give you my opinion for what it's worth. First of all, I'm not a professional at anything, and I use camp stoves primarily just for camping or for outdoor cooking or whatever. But now here's what I have found out. Now, the first thing I want to mention to you is this. This is a shield to block the wind. And without one of these, none of these stoves are going to be as efficient. But if you have one of these, and you can keep the wind off of your flame, your stove is going to be more efficient than it otherwise would. Now, a lot of the videos that I've been watching have been talking about weight, burn time, how fast it'll boil water. But I'm going to tell you, from my perspective, most of that don't matter to me at all. I don't backpack. I don't run the Appalachian Trail. I don't do no long-term backpacking. So them folks, they're real concerned with weight, and to them a part of an ounce matters to them, but it don't to me. It don't matter to me at all, because I'm not into that. And here's what I have found. Now, they talk about how quick you can boil water. First of all, I got lots of time, so I could care less how long it takes to boil water. Now, if it was unreasonable, like if it took an hour or something like that, yeah, of course I'd be concerned. But all of these stoves, and what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at this Lixada camp stove. I'm looking at an alcohol stove, which is basically like a Trangia, but it's not a Trangia, it's actually a red camp, which is pretty much the same thing, or same design, I will say. Here we have a little stove, and I bought this stove off of Wish. Now, it's a good little stove. It's a real good little stove. And if you can wait 2 months for something to come from Wish, you can get them cheap. I think I gave less than $5 for this. And I have tried it, and it does work. The next one that I'm going to compare is a stove that burns these fuel tablets that they come with it. And it's made by Yuko, comes from Walmart, and this stove is the cheapest one of the bunch. I gave less than $5 at Walmart for this stove, and I like that stove. This one was about, I'm thinking right at $15, $14 to $15, but again, I had to wait 2 months to get it because I bought it from Wish. This one, I don't remember exactly how much it was. I'm thinking it was about $8 or $9, but I'm not for sure. I don't remember. This little thing here was just less than $5, like $4.95 from Wish, but I had to wait a long time for it to arrive. And then you got to add the canister of fuel, which is about $5. So, here's the way I feel about it. This stove right here is probably the most efficient of the bunch. This gas, when you turn it on and light it, it burns hot, it burns fast. And you could probably boil water with this faster than you can the rest of them, but not by a whole lot. This thing is handy. Now, if you take this camping with you, it will absolutely do a great job of cooking your meal for you. It will really cook. However, as I said at the very beginning, if you don't have some way of blocking the wind off of it, it's not near as efficient. Now, the other thing that you got to worry about with this is the fuel canister. If you get out in the middle of the woods and you run out of fuel, you got a problem. Now, if you're like me and you're not real concerned about the weight and so forth, I would carry an extra canister. And these last a pretty good while. So it's really a pretty good means. But it will run out of fuel and leave you stranded if you ain't careful. Now, we go with the alcohol stove. The alcohol stove works like a charm. I have on numerous occasions when we were out camping heat me up some water to make some coffee and anything else that I needed to heat up, and this does a great job. Again, if you got your windshield, it's even easier and better. Now you've got to carry fuel with you, so when you start talking about weight, you've got the fuel and the stove weight wise, but I'm not going to talk anymore about weight really, because like I said at the beginning, weight don't matter to me. This little thing works like a champ. I really like it. You can put a good sized pot on that and it works. If you have something smaller, a cup or whatever, matter of fact, I'll show you here. This cup won't fit on here. It fits down in it, but it don't fit on top of it. But now you can turn it over like this, put the stove under here, it works great. Little alcohol stove works great. If you run out of alcohol, you got a problem. So this one and this one, you run out of fuel, you got a problem. Now we come to this one. Now, I really like this stove. I like it a lot for two reasons. Number one is this particular one comes with these. Not all of them do. You have to be careful when you order that you get exactly what it is you need. This works. You can put any size cup, pot, or anything you want, and it works great. Without these, you can also use your bigger pots and stuff will sit on the top, frying pans and things like that. Now the one thing, and the reason I bought this particular one was because this one comes with an insert, and I can put my alcohol stove in there. It's made to fit right in that hole perfectly. And now I can cook with my alcohol with this stove. Now if I run out of alcohol, which is possible, here's what happens. All I have to do is take this out, and I can open this up, and this section right here where that hole is comes out. And you're left with the bottom section, which is where you can put wood, and you can use this as a stick stove. And like I said, I've already tried this out. It works really good. I like it a lot. So this is a real handy stove to have. And one other thing I want to show you about this is it's got one little pin that holds all this together. See what happens when you take that apart? All of this stuff just falls out. I actually had it kind of backwards anyhow, because there's the name on it, Lexada. See, that folds nearly flat. It comes in a little pouch. All of it fits right in there. You see how thick that is? That's nearly nothing to carry. And I like that stove a lot. Now the next one is this little Yuko Stove. Now this little stove right here, you can put a pellet or two if you like, put them on here and light them. You can light them with a ferro rod, you can light them with a Bic lighter. They're real easy to light. And you can use this with that fuel. Now, if you run out of these, you can, if you want to, take your alcohol stove and set it in here. And I checked this last night. When you take the cap off and take this cap off, that leaves just a perfect size or distance between your cup and the stove, the flame. So this would work perfectly. So there's a second fuel for this. Now, if you don't have either of these fuels, you can use this stove with sticks. I've done it. It works great. You can get little stick flames going on there, a little fire. It works perfectly. Now, this thing will not, this little cup here will not fit in here. However, it's designed to do this. And when you squeeze that in like that, you still got your fire in here. And this thing fits on here just great, just like this. So, stand by. So as I was saying, with this cup, once you move those in, it'll fit on there just fine. So, these are the different stoves that I have. And which one would I carry in the woods if I could only take one? If I could only take one, that's a hard choice. It would either be this one or this one, and probably this one. This little stove costs less than $5, and you've got 3 different fuels for it. So if you run out of one, you can use the other, and this thing is just, it's handy dandy, and I really like it. So if I only had one, this would probably be the one I'd take. So there is my 2 cents worth. Oh, the only bad thing about these stoves is they are dirty. You get that soot all over you. These are all good stoves. They're all very useful, and whatever it is that you're doing, one of these stoves will work just fine for you. It's real hard to narrow it down, but like I said, this one right here is probably the most multifunctional. So anyhow, there's my 2 cents worth on the stoves. I'm not concerned with weight. I'm not concerned with how much fuel it takes to get a rolling boil, or how long it takes to get a rolling boil. I don't care. These are nice and handy, and they all work just fine. There may be a little bit of difference in the time on boil time, but it's not enough for me to get upset about. So anyhow, thank you for staying with me and listening to my 2 cents worth on these stoves. Once again, let me add, if you can pick up one of these to block the wind off, every single one of these stoves will be more efficient when you have this. Unless there's no wind. If there's no wind, it doesn't matter. But anyhow, thank you for joining me. I hope this shed a little bit of light on some of these stoves. I hope some of this information I gave you was useful. Till I see you next time, God bless. Don't forget, tell somebody you love them, because tomorrow may be too late. See you on the next one.